how to end endless struggle of challenges. There is power in being able to walk away from your impulses. How many of us know what is the right thing to do, but yet cannot control our impulses to act in a way that we know we shouldn't? When we are clear in our mind, receptive and calm, we will definitely be in the right position to do the right thinking and do right. However, the challenge is when we are not calm, emotion rises, and even if the thought of asking ourselves to calm down surfaced, asking us not to act rashly, the urge to act on our negative impulses followed. It felt like a burst of uncontrolled energy which needed to be released, and once we let it out, not long after that, we will start to regret it. Self-blame, guilt, and embarrassment will definitely kick in thereafter. This constant battle of tug of war between doing right or wrong is pulling and pushing us in the opposite direction all the time. What is happening in the very essence of the problem is actually because we know that certain behavior or attitude is right, since our true self is directing our overall life, confirming it for us, and is set well within our hearts. Even though we may try our best to follow our moral compass and we know what we need to do right, but on the contrary, our egoic nature, which came with this human vessel that we inherit, it being part of the physical embodiment of our existence, is the one who is struggling to defend. It is this part, being protective, will act out in a self-defensive manner. The need to shield ourselves is almost as if we are guarding our territory, just like how animals will behave. Look at how animals behave in the wild. It doesn't matter if that intruding animal is of the same species, and technically they can be considered distant relatives. As long as it is not one of their family members, that protective adult animal will surely lash out and protect their food meant only for themselves and their offsprings. It just doesn't matter if that intruder is starving or not. Some of us as humans also act in the same manner, isn't it? They will strive for their own resources, success, money, and possessions. Nothing will make them part anything from them, even if they have surplus or the capacity to give in any way or form. Why? It's for this reason that this is still a very reptilian and limbic brain complex mindset. It's an automated response and primitive. This is also a karmic response which we need to override and evolve out of. Otherwise, we will continue to act in a primitive way which is devolving, and only when we start to apply unconditional love, compassion, and even wisdom into how we handle everything will we be able to stop ourselves from coming back to this earth school to continue to learn. Don't you want to pass your ultimate test and move on to your next higher progression? This type of primitive and animalistic behavior is exactly what we need to transcend ourselves out of. Why are we still behaving in an animalistic way? We do not need to dislike this primitive part of us. We just need to consciously take baby steps to guide ourselves out of it. This conscious effort is the answer to overcoming long-lasting bad influences which we had constantly reinforced over and over again. It takes conscious willpower on our end, which effectively activates our neocortex brain system to do it. The key here is conscious. We need to be conscious of our own behaviors, take responsibility, and set the intention to improve. I know that many of us find it frustrating to keep feeling in exactly the way we want to stop ourselves from acting in a certain way. But my friend, you are not alone. This is not an easy task since these coming automated responses were ingrained due to many lifetimes of unconscious acts. All that we need to do now is to consciously choose to walk away from whatever we ought to walk away from. When you're able to do it, celebrate your success. Pat yourself on your own shoulders and be happy that you are able to succeed each time. This baby step is a big step into your own evolutionary journey. You are a step nearer to a higher level of spiritual progression and a step away from the tough and challenging earth school. On the other hand, if you fail, do not beat yourself up too. We just need to remember how we failed and make a conscious effort to try again. The key here is willingness. It is of utmost importance not whether we achieve the outcome, but the very fact that we have the willingness to look at our problems and to want to do something about it. In neuroscience mainstream discussion, a habit may take 21 days to form, or some others say it may take 66 days. The point here is, how long did your bad behavior stay with you? It has been with you for as long as you have lived, right? If you are 20 years old, 30 years old, or even 40 years old and beyond, the longer you allow the same patterning of your impulses to take form, the harder it is to amend. So, why wait? Start to do something right now. Well, you may think, since it's been with me for so long and it's so hard to change, then forget it. I can't do it. Well, then okay. You might need to come back again to learn this exact lesson that you have avoided now. If I were you, I would rather try my best now. At least you have the willingness to try. It will start with this willingness, and through this, we will be assisted along the way because of our right intentions. When we are thinking right and doing right, only then we will draw positivity into our lives, be it good people, abundance, health, or opportunities. But in hindsight, if we choose to continue to act in a passive way, not willing to change, I am very sure that we will continue to draw difficult lessons to ourselves exactly because no matter what, we will need to learn to overcome it. Universal laws will continue to work and take its natural course as a definite governing order of the universe. That is why, if we continue to avoid and not take up the responsibility of our own bad behaviors, bad attitude, bad habits, or emotional impulses, we can only be in this endless cycle of repeated lessons and challenges. These came not as a form of punishment. They happened to give us a chance to correct ourselves. Henceforth, let's start to try to do the right thing for ourselves. Start applying small little baby steps in whatever we need to correct. Celebrate our success and give empathy for our failures too. Let's start to be truthful to ourselves, stay authentic, positive in our attitude, and be a beacon of light to our surroundings. Shine light into our own darkness, and in turn, we will also light up the world.